This is the house I grew up in. This is the house I lived in from the time I was 3 to the time I was about 13. And it's the house I lived in when my son was born. So I was a child in this house, and I was also a new father in this house. Too many angels have seen me crying. Too many angels. So I had kind of an early lesson about quality and about, you know, the uniqueness of this place. Too many angels have heard you lying. To me, you know, this sort of set a standard for me, you know, that has been hard to meet. Too many angels.
I've spent a lot of time in the last 10 years in New York. New York to me is like a medieval city in many ways because everyone's living on top of each other, literally on top of each other. You can't escape the street. The street is very close. I like to walk everywhere in this city, and I get a great deal of satisfaction out of being free to walk around the city without being hassled or bothered. People recognize you and are generally very, very pleased to see you and very pleasant. I like to walk in the park. It's nice when taxi drivers wave at you. 1, 2, 3, 2. I still regard music as being this one great mass. I don't like to separate it off into little ghettos, you know. That's always been my philosophy, and I think it's reflected in my music. Say, you know, I'm just a dilettante. I dabble in this and I dabble in that. I never get into one thing. I don't believe in one thing. I believe in the totality of music.
The new album's called Made in England. It was made in England. I was made in England. I've had my love-hate relationship with my home country, mostly because of the media and the press. But I like living. I like spending time there.
I'm made in England like a blue Cortina.
It's the first album I made in England since Red Strikes Back, which was made pre-rehab. So I really felt like making the album. Made at Air London, which is in North London, it's Hampstead, which is a converted church. It's beautiful. There are about 3 studios there.
Thank you very much. Take it up.
In the beginning, he made the right choices. The biggest thing was a great primitive instinct for music and for style. And this is before all of the songwriters came in and said, we'd love to write a song for you. This is when he was just figuring, what do I want to do? What do I love based on, you know, where I come from and what's around me? And he invented something amazing. And this is when he sang all those early Sun records, you know, Mystery Train and Good Rockin' Tonight and Wanna Play House with You and That's All Right, Mama.
Well, that's all right, Mama. That's all right for you. That's all right, Mama. Just any way you do it, that's all right.
When the young people were starving for something to grab onto, and a white man doing the essence of some of that unbelievable black blues, that kind of authenticated the legitimacy of black music too. white young people.
You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine.
How many songs did we write for Elvis Presley?
Oh, well, he did. Oh, it's 21. I think he did 23 songs that we wrote.
You told me you was high class, but that was just a lie. You told me you was high class, but that was just a lie.
Elvis Presley made us very famous.
Elvis Presley made us a lot of money also.
Fair amount of money. Very famous.
You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Let's rock! Everybody, let's rock! Everybody in the wholesale rock! Dancing to the jailhouse rock!
We have many ongoing projects in Brazil which will keep us very busy for the next 5 years. We also think that we should start to expand doing pilot projects in other countries, and we're looking at Guyana as our first venture out of Brazil at the moment.
The rainforest is still burning, it's still being destroyed, and our plans to build roads through it, but we keep trying to slow progress down so that these people can be accommodated with the help of my friends.
I think that if Bonnie and I were like two clerks in a shoe store, we would still like really enjoy going to work every day. I think that there's a chemistry that kind of transcends whatever particular thing we happen to be working on, and that's probably what lends to the longevity.
You took my love, ran away. What do you expect from me to say? I gave you everything I could, but you weren't giving up, baby, what you should.
I think part of the reason we do so well together is because we don't go out together. That's been a big part of it. We truly love each other.
When you see me, baby, standing alone. Well, I know that I love.
I write by myself and I also write with partners as well. Those partners usually being L.A. Reid and Daryl Simmons. There it is. It's the M1 there. You see it popping up. There's no real structure on how we have to do it each time. It just depends on who came up with the idea, or depends on if, in some cases, I might like get stuck and not know where to take it, and then I call on them to try to help me finish it and go to where it's got to go to.